I hit it. All
Okay,
right,
good.
we're live. We're live, man.
Just like that. Awesome. I'm
Yeah,
getting like the little walkthrough of this wicked platform that you guys are using.
yeah, it's pretty rad.
Awesome. Well, hello everybody. I know I'm a strange face to this to some of these places. Avelio, you know much better. He's much more handsome gentleman than myself. But I adjusted the lighting, so I should be okay. I wanted to connect with you, Avelio, and chat about not only your talk at the Print Design Summit, but also what is the Print Design Summit and dive into some of that stuff. So thank you for allowing me to hop on your platform here.
Dude, 100%, man. I'm super stoked. So, I mean, Dave, we've known each other for quite a while now.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
humble
for quite a
beginnings,
while.
right? Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
honestly probably been about 3 years. And
Dude,
true
I think more
fact
like
that
5.
God, you know what? You're probably right. And we've never met in person,
Right.
although we feel like we have. Um, are you guys are you going to any other like design events this year?
I'm heading out to LuxPack, Los Angeles on Thursday, so that should be pretty
Nice.
cool. And then I've got I think LuxPack, New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be everywhere.
Awesome. Well, when you're at LuxPack in LA, I know my previous employer, Glenmore Custom Printed Packaging, will be there. So make sure you stop by the booth and give a high five to James there.
Rad.
Yeah, the old
That's good, man.
boys. Awesome. So I'm just going to dive in a little bit here with like a what is the summit, and tell you a little bit about it. This is our second year hosting the Print Design Summit, and it kind of the where it came from goes back a few years when I first started Print Design Academy. Through I've been in printing for 19 years, and one of the parts I enjoyed most about my job is helping designers just bring these print creations to life, whether it's stationery or packaging or whatever it is. They have this vision. I've got this production knowledge from running presses and all that jazz, and I'm coming together and helping them create those objects is just so rad. So we created Print Design Academy. We've got courses and a membership there to help teach designers closely, coaching them along on this print design journey. But not all designers are at a financial spot where they can invest in a course or membership, or they're just not ready to, like, in their own learning, in their own journey. So we still wanted to create something for them at scale, like just super low barrier of entry, but you're getting access to design and print industry experts and learning from them. So that's the idea that kind of spawned the Print Design Summit.
Yeah.
And that's exactly it. We put this event together with a bunch of design and industry experts to teach graphic designers the skills they need to design award-winning print and packaging easier, faster, and with more confidence. So that's kind of what it is in a nutshell. And why we put it all together just made sense for us. Part of our ethos is we want graphic designers to just create great print and packaging. That's it.
No, that's awesome. And like Susan said, right, just kicking off with like, if you love print, right, because that's it, right? If you're a packaging designer, if you're a graphic designer, I mean, you've got to understand print. And I think, like, for me, like, getting started in the early days, I loved band posters, right? Like the silk screened ones that had like multiple colors, and like that's print, like that's tactile. And I think we're seeing a lot of that stuff come back. But you don't necessarily know, you go to school to be a designer, you don't necessarily learn how to execute print as much as you do like how to create something.
Yeah, and a part of my job was taking students through the print shop, like taking design students from local universities and showing them the presses and how pre-press and how all this stuff comes to life. And they're amazed by it. And then you dig a little deeper and you find out that that print production portion of their education is maybe one semester in year 2 out of a full 4-year design degree.
Yeah.
So when you're only learning about it in that little bit of a nutshell, it's highly unlikely that a designer is going to graduate with that 4-year degree and just be like, I'm confident, I'm ready to go for print and packaging. I know what I'm talking about.
I love this program because, like, one of the things that, I always say is, like, if you want to be a good designer, if you want to be a great designer, you've got to know print, because it's not just the tools and knowing where things go and how to communicate visually. But if you hand something off to somebody else to manage, like if somebody, I'm going to the printer, I'm like, here's my files, take care of it, or I give it to the customer, and then they go and take it to a printer. Like, you're letting somebody else raise your child. Like you're letting somebody else take that and do whatever they want with it. They might be like,
Yeah.
oh, you know what? They've got 5 spot colors. We can just make this 4-color process.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they kill all your color. So you've got to know like how to do this stuff. But I would ask, like, if you're watching this on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Facebook, wherever you are watching this, it'd be great to know where you guys are watching from. So, do us just a quick favor and throw in where you're watching. It'd be awesome to see where you guys are coming in from.
Definitely would love to know that. So like I was saying, this is the second year we put the summit on. Last year, the first year, we went in with very low expectations because we were still just trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And we ended up with 13 incredible speakers. We had some of the biggest names in the design and print space, like Pantone and Mohawk Paper, sign on to support us. And we ended up with over 1,200 registrants to the event, the first one. And so it blew our minds, but it also showed us there's an appetite for this education, this kind of learning experience. So we added 2 extra days this year. We've now got over 20 speakers, including you and your expertise, which we'll get to in a sec here. And we have, I can't even tell you how many like industry brands and companies that are already out there supporting designers and supporting the print industry coming back us. It's honestly, mine's still blowing, and watching the registrations roll in on the back end is just it's just wild. It's a good time.
Good. No, congratulations, man. I mean, this is a killer program. I remember when you were just talking about putting this together and seeing how well it did last year, and looking forward to this year. I know you've got some killer sponsors on this year. We were talking about how you've got Federgoni as one of the sponsors. Those guys have one of the coolest paper books out right now. It's have you seen it with like the accordion? You open it up and it's got like a light in
all
there.
The little things in there. Oh man,
that is awesome.
Yeah, I introduced them as one of the paper brand that puts out the most beautiful and intricate swatch books. Even stuff from 5 years ago. You feel like this is amazing. This is so advanced, and it just the way it all comes together. And with Federgoni specifically, I've had clients in print say, I will accept no other paper other than Federgoni, to the point where we had to air freight paper in from overseas. So it was pretty wild.
Yeah, no, people definitely love that. Susan's, from this print world. So, I know we missed it a little bit. We've missed that tactile connection.
It's coming back, man. Print is not dead. There's some cool things happening in the print game right now. And, I always tell designers is that if you think print is on its way out, number one, look around you right now. How many notebooks, how many books, how many postcards, how many bits of packaging you bought at Sephora or whatever, like how many of those do you still have hanging around the house? That's all print. A designer laid that out, a designer put that together, and it was printed on a press.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I got an entire closet over here just full of print. I was looking over to see like what cool stuff I had, but I got this thing, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And this is, I didn't work on this. This was just like a handout that they had. It's a paper company, but like the emboss that they're able to achieve on this paper is it's probably like 2 mil thick. Wow. Like, you can see like this thing happening in the
microphone, how thick that thing is.
But like there's a lot of technology out there, whether it's from a paper company, from an ink company, plate making, like there's so many different things happening, and it's not just 4-color digital print, right? Like there's so much out there. It's just kind of what you can do and how you can flex your creative capabilities.
100%. So over the 5 days, what we've tried to do is categorize them in a sense, where day one of the summit is talking about craft beer labels and beverage labels and sort of can decoration in print. Second day of the event is all about consumer packaged goods and packaging. Third day is into that commercial print and book design. The fourth day dives into like the tech and kind of business day. So like screen sharing, some Adobe Illustrator and InDesign lessons and tips and tricks. And then we dive into creative business talks. That was a part of the event that I really wanted to add in there, because any designer going out there to start a design studio, just, growing their freelance career, any sort of business advice they can get from, designers and creatives who have
Yeah.
gone before them, there's so much value there. So I wanted to make sure to include a day like that. And then the fifth day, where you come in, my friend, is all about the future, looking at augmented reality, looking at AI, looking at sustainability in the print game, all of those sort of things, like print looking forward. So I think now would be an awesome time for you to dive in and just sort of like tease out, what you're going to be talking about at the summit a little bit here.
Yeah, no, I definitely will. But before we get to that, Susan's asking if there's still paper shows. I think there are. I definitely remember going to those. I've got tons of swatches here, but like looking at who you've got coming on throughout the week, right? You've got Britt Cobb from Pentagram. You've got Nick Longo. I've got Danielle Kidney, Andy Kurtz, Raphael Farsat. I mean, you've got a ton, and I'm just stoked. You got like a whole list of people that have been on my podcast. I'm like super familiar with their work, and I want to hear what they're going to do, because like they'll get even deeper. But like Raphael Farsat, like he's Last Crumb. If you're familiar with Last Crumb cookies, that's where that came from. Like he'll get into some of that stuff, and how to create luxury. You've got Nick Longo who teaches packaging. Like, how do you revolutionize design? Like, I'm super stoked about like some of these people that are coming on. Obviously, people from the podcast would be awesome. But then looking at some of these other people, you got Richard Hatter. That dude, you've got a killer collection of people across just different industries, all in creative, but definitely a good group.
And I'm always one to sort of share behind the scenes. So as the, I think 12 weeks out from the summit, which starts Thursday, February 15th, just everybody so they know that, a couple days away. We were adding speakers. We had some speakers drop off. We had some speakers have some other schedule conflicts and illnesses and all kinds of things come up.
Yeah.
Like we went live on Instagram every Friday prior to the event starting, and just sort of talked about like, here's what's going on behind the scenes. Like, here's the realities of trying to put together an event like this. Sharing some of those things. And, there was moments in there where I was like, I don't know if this is going to come together. I just don't know. And here we are 2 days out from the event with a stacked speaker list, doing live calls like this, talking about the summit and how exciting it's going to be, and even hearing you go through this list of speakers that are up on screen here. And I'm like, you're right. Like, how did I even talk to these people? So it's a pretty cool moment, man.
No, it's awesome, man. And I think the crazy part is it's free.
Yes.
Right. So anybody can go. You can sign up down below, right? You can go to printdesignsummit.com, get your free ticket. And it's a free ticket for 5 days.
Yes.
Right. So do you have to be live, or will these be recorded? Like, if I don't catch it at the right time, can I watch it?
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, like as soon as you register for free, you get access to not only the behind the scenes and the schedule and all that kind of stuff, but you get access to our summit community. Completely unplanned. One of the things from last year that was the biggest hit and the thing that people enjoyed the most was that community where you could connect with other designers, chat with the presenters. We've got preloaded training in there with tours of print shops, interviews with print industry experts, introductions to really cool print and design products that you might not have heard of before. So that community is already stacked. But you get the live event, obviously, over the 5 days. And then the recordings of the event are available up to 7 days beyond the event as well. So you don't have to tune in live. You can come back and check it out the week after. But they're up until February 26th, and the event ends on the 19th.
Dude, that's awesome. That's really cool, man. So yeah. So in terms of like all right, so what am I going to cover? When I've been talking about artificial intelligence here for quite a bit now. I just had the Unboxed conference over in Anaheim, where we talked about artificial intelligence, and we had sustainability as well. Because those, as different as those seem, those two can come together, and we can really make some really cool things that are sustainable that are driven by artificial intelligence and kind of using the data collection that happens on sustainability side.
Yeah.
But yes, I'll be covering, because this is print focused. We'll be talking about how to go from concept, how to concept your ideas quickly, how to develop new ideas, how to use AI as a, we've been calling it a co-pilot for quite a while, but really it's a way to, it's like an external subconscious, right? It's like I got some crazy idea, I throw it at it, and it comes back with some kind of a response. Where instead of me just sitting here kind of thinking about it while I'm working, I might be working on project A, and I'm thinking about project B, having some wild idea. I can just throw that idea out there and get some feedback, and I can kind of do two things. And this wild idea may seem completely ridiculous, but as you start kind of molding it with AI, you're like, oh, I didn't think about that, or I didn't realize the idea can take that split. And then all of a sudden you're, this random thought can actually become something that is either structural, could be like a print process, could be, communication, copywriting. And then that helps kind of formulate what that design looks like at the end. And then of course, being able to, all the generative AI that's happening in Adobe Suite right now, that stuff definitely is helpful.
Yep.
I know I use the generative AI in Photoshop almost daily for the podcast. Like if I get like a headshot from somebody, but it's clipped off here, I just extend that arm. It takes a second.
Rebuild the shoulder, please.
Yeah, it's like it just fixes everything, which is really cool. Where in the past these things would take hours, if they were even possible. Like you'd have to go find an image of somebody with a similar shirt or jacket, and then kind of crop it, and it never looked right. But now it's just part of the process. So how do you take that and how do you get it to print? Is what we'll be really focusing on, and showing examples of how I'm actually using it on a day-to-day in the workflow, and just kind of keeping things really basic.
I love that, because using AI as a tool, almost, and the way we're using it is like a jumping off point.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like if you have an idea, but you're kind of stuck a little bit, you're not quite sure, you throw it into AI and it'll give you 4 or 5 different ideas, suggestions, things that will be like, oh yeah. That's that spark that I was looking for. That's the spark I needed. Whether it's copy or design stuff, but that's awesome. And taking that to the production side of things, because there's a big gap and a difference between I've got this AI piece, I've put it together in Illustrator or InDesign or whatever it is, getting that to a press.
Yeah.
There's a big gap in there.
No, and being that this is Print Design Summit, focusing on print, I think one of the things that happens with a lot of designers, at least the ones that I've spoken to, is there's a moment of being overwhelmed, right? There's so much AI content out there. You're seeing amazing images, you're seeing amazing videos, and like 3D element, like you're seeing so many different things happening. Like, but if you're in print, like, don't worry about all that stuff. Don't worry about like what's happening in Runway in the video. Don't worry about what's happening in audio. Don't worry about what's happening in the data collection side, because you can do so many things with AI. Doesn't mean you have to do all those things with AI.
Yes.
Right? If it's really, if you're just in print, look at image, look at concept, look at copywriting, use it for color recommendations. Like focus on what it is that you do, and don't let yourself get overwhelmed. I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, did you see what they're doing in Runway? How do I keep up? How do I do that? And it's like, well, do you really need to be doing video if you're a brochure designer, right? Like,
100%. That's use it where it fits in your workflow, in the type of work that you're actually doing. There's all kinds of advances in AI in a bunch of different categories, but just like everything, it's niched down to different industries. If you're not in that industry pursuing that type of work, then it's just kind of extra noise.
Yeah. But you do see, I feel it. Like I see stuff happening on LinkedIn when people are sharing. I'm like, man, I don't know how to do that. and you feel inadequate. You're like, oh my God, people are surpassing me. But then at the same time, it's like, well, I don't need to know how to do that.
Yeah.
I just want to. Like, I want to keep up, but you don't have to. Just focus on what it is that you do.
Yeah, that is like the personal challenge I think everybody wrestles with, is seeing all of the cool things out there, wanting to do all of the things,
Yeah.
but then the reality of like you just can't. You
Yeah.
can't do all the things.
No. I mean, you got a job, right?
Yes,
It's like,
you have a job, you've got a life and all that.
yeah.
So in that, I wanted to just sort of chat a little bit about that summit community that I was
Mhm.
introducing, or talking a little bit about. One big change this year over previous years is the prizes that we have to give away.
Awesome.
Um, Last year, we were super excited to say that we gave over like $1,100 worth of prizes, putting them out in the world. This year we have over $5,000 in
Oh, it's crazy.
prizes that we're giving out. We've got amazing things from Foilco. We've got a bunch of NYX Spectral L color sensors, scanners that we're giving away. We've got some books from Mohawk we're giving away. We've got Nina sample kits, full of wicked print samples and swatch books. We've got a bunch of those to give away.
But
We have
how do you win these?
so getting in the community. Getting
Okay.
in the community, being active. So as soon as you register for the summit for free, you'll get all the email information and all the instructions on how to join the community. And I say instructions, but it's
Mhm.
super simple. Get in the community, introduce yourself, and connect with other designers, and just be active in there.
And then someone picks at random, like who's most active, who's, you know.
Well, you'll love this as like an analytical AI kind of guy.
Mhm.
Is in the back end of the platform that we use called Circle. There's analytics. So the
Mhm.
more you're commenting, the more you're liking, the more you're posting and sharing and interacting, your like score within the community goes up. So
Right.
it's the top community performers that are going to be getting, prizes like this. There'll be some random to it,
Yeah.
um, because we have so many to give away. But yeah, getting in there and just being an engaged member and giving value to the community, that's what's going to get you some prizes
Oh, that's awesome, man.
for sure.
Do you have anything you can show?
Yeah, on that desk over there. Yeah, I got, not even the Pantone books that we have to give away.
You're giving Panto books away?
Man, we got the
Dude, that's like
brand new,
hundreds of
fresh off
bucks
the
there.
press, color bridge guides, both coated and
Nice.
uncoated. We've got 3 sets of those to give away. Yeah, they're valued at, I think it's $420 each
Yeah.
that we're giving away. So yeah, lots of wicked prizes that we've got to give away. And along with all that stuff, we have our print design mastery toolkit. Now, this is an optional upgrade for the summit. That really is a box full of tools that the designer getting into print and packaging is going to want to have on their shelf. And I thought it'd be kind of a cool thing to do. I love doing print show and tell, and there's some pretty rad print stuff in this kit. So I'd love to show you some of this stuff because I don't know if you've seen it all.
No, man, I'll see what we got going on here. We got some people that are pretty stoked about it.
For sure. So we've got this digital embellishment info sheet from Xerox.
Okay.
So what you're seeing on here and the gloss and the foils and bits like that, like digitally embellished. Then I like to tease out our little
I'm trying to
pin, our
get
first
you going here. There we go.
There we go. Our first ever enamel pin with our little loop, our print design mastery loop there. I always wanted to do an enamel pin, and it just kind of worked out that we could put it together.
It's like one of those band poster things. Like you want to do a pin.
You just want to do it, right? Yeah, and I got some band poster vibes in here for you. Our friends at Parkland Direct, who do the most ridiculous envelopes you've ever seen in your life, sent us some envelope samples to give out.
Nice.
So this particular one, check out the eyes. Hopefully it comes up on
Oh,
camera.
it's killer. It's like a micro embossed foil.
Micro embossed foil.
Wow.
So like you get an envelope like that in the mail, you're opening that thing. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
what's inside. You're opening that thing.
But you're framing it, right?
Yeah. You're down. You in LA or just like you're near LA, right?
I'm in Arizona. Yeah.
Oh, you're Arizona. Why did I think you were in LA? Anyways, you will have possibly heard of Tsar Letterpress. These guys right here, out of Irvine, California.
Nice.
So they sent out this wicked letterpress sample kit. So it's got a bunch of different stocks, different thicknesses, showing letterpress print on all of these. They just kind of like cascade out like that.
Yeah.
But one of the coolest parts of this is these print method sheets. So look at this. You were showing off an emboss earlier on the sample that you had. Look at this one.
Oh, wow.
Come on, camera. There we go.
Yeah, that's pretty rad.
So wicked sculpted embossed there. You got the foil all around it as well in super thick, gorgeous paper. This one's got print plus like the blind deboss and emboss.
Mhm.
So see how I'm actually really impressed how well that's coming up on camera.
Yeah, it looks really good, man. And
Yeah.
what's crazy with these is like, all right, so these are samples,
Mhm.
but all right, so I've got a ton of samples too, but how do I use them?
Yeah.
So if I'm talking to a client and we're talking about design, as I'm developing something,
Yeah.
I've got a sample of like, this embossed paper. It's like, okay, well, I want to achieve this emboss in this area.
Yeah.
And I can call it out in the artwork, I can separate it out in the files, but it's hard to communicate that to the client and be like, this is what we're going to do. Like you can do a 3D render that, raises it and it's still on screen. But if you can actually have a swatch that you're like, here, this is what it's going to feel like.
Yes.
That makes a difference. And if you've got a bunch of them, like you've got there, then you can tell it the whole story and they can feel it and they can say, yeah, I love that. Or no, I don't like that before you even get down that path.
And that's exactly what this kit is for. Exactly. You nailed it. It's for showing and telling not only yourself and this, oh yeah, this paper fits the brand that I'm designing for. This is what I'm going to propose to the client. Then taking this paper out to that meeting and saying, here's what it would feel like. Here's what this foil looks like. Here's what this emboss feels like, that kind of thing. So 100%, that's exactly what it's for. We've got things from Domtar showcasing their Cougar Lynx papers, things from Federagoni, and this is pretty slick brochure actually, where it outlines, when we're talking sustainability, if you want 100% post-consumer paper, there you go, right at the top. Those are the ones you want to pick from. 80%, 50%, all of that kind of stuff. So whatever percentage you want to fit, this is your reference guide. In that sustainability world, our friends at Monadnock put the field guide out. So this helps you nail down the right decisions for any brand that you're doing work on. Gives case studies, gives examples, how to apply specialty, the logos, the FSC stuff, the PEFC logos, where those actually fit in the process and how they can help a brand.
Yeah.
And in that paper selection that we were talking about, we worked with Metropole Industries, print shop on Vancouver Island out here, to put together the super awesome paper guide. I'll hold this thing up. This is basically a fan book full of about 30 different papers that show you print on them. They get you to feel the texture, how much fleck they've got, little description on each one on how, possible jobs it could work for. There's coated papers, uncoated papers, text weight, cover weight, board stocks, everything in there for you to have a look at and a feel of.
Nice.
And then in that gig posters you were talking about, we had the opportunity to really have some fun with this. And my partner, Gabby, designed these two posters. This is one.
Oh, I love it.
So digitally printed by Mitchell Press out in Vancouver, BC here. On nice.
What's that red?
So this is just straight up magenta, over printing though. So over printing, so you get that halftone effect and everything below it. And then this poster was actually screen printed by Industry Print Shop out of Austin, Texas. So you get the black halftone. Then we've got a PMS pink that was then just printed over top again to get that show through that halftone effect.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were pretty stoked on how these things came out. Yeah, and then there's a bunch of other stuff in there, like just these guys here. Again, digital embellishments. This is from Scodix.
Yeah.
So samples just showing you what's possible. And this one I love because of the detail involved in it.
Yeah, and those guys do some pretty amazing stuff, man, in terms of like digital. Yeah, so even Jason's like, hang on here. Yeah, even that even Jason's like that pink on the digital is crazy, man. That thing stood out. Yeah, that thing stood out like insane.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. Yeah. So yeah, Gabby did an amazing job on the design of these things. Industry and Mitchell both did an amazing job on the print of these things, really getting our vision done. And those are available in this Print Designer or Print Design Mastery Toolkit. And then taking it one step further, there's a couple of other swatch things that I just didn't bring over. So it's loaded, but you can see the full list after you register for free for the summit. We're hand painting every single box. Every single box that goes out gets some sort of hand painted gradient effect just to really put that like one of a kind touch. Every single box is unique and different to itself and is full of the kind of tools that you're going to need to get into this print and packaging design game.
That's awesome, man. Because yeah, I think you kind of nail it, right? You're getting the education,
Yeah.
you're getting examples from everyone. I see you've got like like Danielle Kidney over at the Creative Pack. They do they do a lot of own brand type of packaging, but it's like, all right, well, how do they achieve this? How do they achieve that?
Yeah.
And then you get in the tools, right? You can order these tools separately, but it's like, all right, well, here's how I can achieve that. Here's like an example of it. Because that's the thing is like, you don't really get the examples of how can I achieve this print or this process or even what is this process called, right? Like a lot of people aren't familiar with Scodex, but they've seen foils, they've seen embossings.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, well, let me quote somebody that can do Scodex. Let me quote somebody that can do this.
This
So
is what
super
it
helpful.
feels like. This is what it looks like really establishing that.
Yeah.
And the summit registration is free. The toolkit that we just went through is just an optional upgrade because we have designers joining of all different skill levels. Some of them just like starting out and they just need some free training to help them grow, help them, go a little further in their career. Happy days. That's awesome. But for those designers who are like, no, I'm more established. I need some of these tools where I can go out and start selling print and making print happen. Well, there's some upgrades optional available there for you.
Yeah, no, and I would say, if you're a young designer just getting started, definitely getting a kit like this is super helpful because you don't get a lot of this in school. You've seen it out in the market, but you don't necessarily know what it is. So it's a good kit that'll probably get you through the next 3 years of your design career. It's like
100%.
now you can bring some cool stuff to the table. So definitely, man.
Awesome. And it comes with a whole bunch of digital assets as well and courses and different things that you can register for that you get for free with that toolkit. So it's not just some physical stuff. There's some digital training and education to back it all up.
Yeah, 100%. All right, man. I think we start wrapping this thing up here, but I'm super stoked to be a part of this next Monday and going over AI and how to design and use it in your workflow. Do you want to give one of these things away to maybe Susan, who's been super active on here?
Yeah, 100%. Let's give a kit to Susan.
All right, Susan, you need a DM Dave here, and we'll get something out to you.
See, this is what it's like in action, Avelli. You get involved in the community, you comment, you give feedback, you like some stuff, you're rewarded for that. So that's what it's like within the Print Design Summit. And so to register for free, printdesignsummit.com. It is from February 15th to 19th, those 5 days. Replays are available up till the 26th of February. And I would hope to see you all there for sure.
Awesome, man. And then this will keep playing on LinkedIn all day, all week. So if you've got any questions, you want to go ahead and throw them in the comments, go ahead. I'll be checking. I know Dave will be checking as well. We'll keep answering and just please let us know what you're thinking.
Happy days. Love it. Thanks so much for your time,
man.
Avelio.
Thank you, buddy. I'll see you.
You bet. Cheers.